Hey everybody. Today we're going to talk about the reality that social media is subtly influencing your finances without you even realizing it.
Welcome to Wisdom and Wealth, where we talk about the human side of money. Join us as we dive beyond the numbers, unpacking the psychology of money to equip you with the tools you need to be wise in wealth.
I'm Brendan Frazier, Chief Behavioral Officer at RFG Advisory, and just 2 nights ago, I was sitting in our living room after a long day. The kids had been put to bed. I've got my phone in hand, laying on the couch, scrolling through Instagram, and all of a sudden in my feed, I see a post from a friend of mine who had just bought a baseball training tool for his son, and it was showing in the video how they were using it. My 6-year-old son also plays baseball. We're always trying to figure out what we can be doing to train, to get better, to practice. Fast forward 3 minutes later, next thing I know, I'm online buying that same exact baseball training tool. It's gonna be at our house 2 days later. The truth is, social media is quietly shaping the way that we spend, save, and feel about our money. And most of us just have no idea that it's even happening. Or if we do, we don't like to acknowledge that it's happening. So let's talk through the financial effects of social media, both the obvious ones that you think about, but also the not so obvious ones, so that you can recognize when it's helping you, but maybe more importantly, you can recognize when it's hurting you. And then we'll talk through 4 different ways, 4 different things you can do to keep social media from overtaking and hijacking your financial life. According to one survey, 49% of millennials say that social media has influenced them to spend money when they didn't even plan to. And realistically, that's just the ones that they know about. Oftentimes, it's influencing us to spend money when we don't even realize it. But here's the thing. It's not just about the money that's leaving your account. Social media can also affect how you feel about your finances. Another study found that people who spend more time on the image-heavy platforms report higher levels of financial stress. Why is that? Because we're constantly comparing our real lives to everyone else's highlight reel of a life. Here's another personal example of how this played out. This was just last week. My wife was on the other couch. She's scrolling through her feed, and all of a sudden I hear her over there say, everybody's on vacation right now. Now, was everybody actually on vacation? No, of course not. But based on her feed, that's the perception that she sees. She's seeing what everybody else is doing, the vacations that everybody else is taking. What she's not seeing are all the people that are not on vacation. But all of a sudden, before I knew it, we were in vacation planning mode because we needed to take a vacation. Basically, we see what others have on social media, and it subtly makes us feel like we're behind. It creates what researchers call a desire discrepancy. The gap between the life that we have, that we're currently living, and the life that we think we should have or want to have. And that gap often gets filled with spending, not just on big purchases, but even on little things that make us feel closer to that dream or make us feel better in the moment. Social media doesn't just show us things, it sells us feelings and it capitalizes on them. So why does this happen? Why do smart, savvy, financially aware people fall into these patterns? There's 2 big reasons. First and foremost, social proof. When we see other people spending, when we see other people taking vacations, we decide or assume that it's normal and that's what we want to do as well, even if it's not right for us. It creates what we call herd behavior, where we do the things that we see other people doing and think that's what we should be doing as well. And the second one is dopamine. Every like, every comment, every purchase gives us a hit of pleasure. It's the pleasure hormone, and our brains love it. We start to associate buying things with feeling good, especially when it's tied to social status, connection, connecting to what other people are doing, or even our identity. And we'll have other episodes coming up in the future where we dive into how all those things play into our finances. But for now, as we focus on social media, here's the catch. When you're on social media, when you're scrolling, we rarely, and I would say probably never, see the full picture. You see the vacation, you don't see the potential credit card bill at the end. You see the new car, you don't see the 7-year loan. And it's that distorted view that warps not only our expectations, but our decisions. But there is some good news. Social media is not all bad. It can be used for good. You don't have to just go and delete your social media accounts and live off the grid just to have a better, more fruitful financial future. Here are a few things you can do, a few ways that you can combat the influence of social media to not let it negatively impact your finances. Number one, conduct an awareness audit. Spend one day at first, but ideally a full week, paying attention to how social media is affecting your spending or your desire to spend. Do you feel the urge to buy something after scrolling? If so, jot it down. You don't need to change anything yet. Just notice it, jot it down, become aware of it. And then think about, why is it that I want to buy it? So if I go back to my example earlier with the baseball training tool, if I was in the moment and aware, I would say, yes, this is making me want to buy it. And it was probably, if I'm being honest, my desire to help my son be the best baseball player that he wants to be. For my wife, it was ultimately the need to get away from the routine of life for a little bit and get a little bit of a break. The thing is, there's other ways to do that. Other ways to help my son be successful. Other ways to get out of the busyness and the routine of life that aren't as expensive. There's other ways to meet those same exact needs. Number two, you can tweak your feed. So unfollow or mute, get rid of any of the accounts that you notice are consistently making you feel like you're falling behind. And instead be intentional about following or keeping track of the people who prioritize intentional living, financial well-being, or the things that you actually want to spend time investing your mind, your time, and your effort into. Your feed, what you're consuming on social media, should fuel your values and not your FOMO. Number three, pre-commitment tools. Now, by now, again, if you're a regular watcher and viewer of the show, you've heard this idea of pre-commitment tools and pre-commitment strategies mentioned time and time again. It's because it's such an effective way to achieve your ideal and desired behavior. But have you ever heard of the 24-hour rule? If you see something you want to buy, wait 24 hours. If you're on there and you think, I need that baseball training tool, put a rule in place that says you can't buy it today, bookmark it and come back to it. You can buy it again if you want it in 24 hours. Turns out there's even apps and browser extensions. There's technology out there that allows you to pause your impulse buys on the spot. You can use this technology to your advantage. If you think to yourself, I'm never going to use technology like that, and you want a more traditional way, then create a wants category in your budget. And when you have a wants category, you can jot down these things that you want in the moment, but you can plan for it in the future. Number four, if it comes down to it, the most extreme version is just to conduct a social media fast. Now, again, maybe you don't want to completely get off of social media, but if you can take a break for a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is, experiment with that and then see how you feel at the end of it. I'll tell you this much. Very rarely has anybody ever taken time off of social media and then come back and said, you know what, my life is so much worse than it used to be. But it'll let you pause and be intentional about how you want to use social media in the future. Because here's the deal. Social media is not going anywhere. But your financial peace of mind, your financial future, that's worth protecting. Social media might be curated, but your financial life, it's real. So let's make sure your financial life is shaped by your goals and your values rather than an algorithm. As always, if you have questions, if you want to discuss, reach out, contact your financial advisor. And until next time, stay wise and well.